Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Marvin Jenkins, and I'm the coordinator for the Women's Business Center for Maryland Capital Enterprises. We're a nonprofit organization, and we assist entrepreneurs who are either starting a new business or expanding their existing business. We service the Eastern Shore of Maryland, plus Baltimore City, Baltimore County, Anne Arundel County, Cecil County, and Hartford County. We offer a lot of educational programs, workshops like the one you're on today. We have also offer counseling and consulting one-on-one, as well as business loan assistance. We have an office here in Salisbury, and we also have one in Baltimore. And this is being recorded, so you will get a link to the recording, once this is over, probably sometime tomorrow. And it'll have my contact information and a lot of other information about Maryland Capital Enterprises and the Women's Business Center. So I want to thank you for joining us on this webinar, Marketing on Instagram. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Betsy Long. She does a lot of these for us, so I know you're all going to enjoy it. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Betsy.
Thank you, sir. My name is Betsy Long. Can everybody hear me okay? I apologize in advance. I'm not in my normal office, so I have a little bit of background noise. So hopefully the AirPods can help with that and you won't hear much of that. But I am the owner of a company, Belong Socials. We are a social media marketing company, social media management. We do everything from content to strategy to management. So we've been in business about 3 years. We currently manage accounts for 10 businesses. It's just me and one other person. So we do that along with content collection. We do strategies, calendars, things like that. So really the sky's the limit. And then I have started doing some of these for Maryland Capital Enterprises, just as a way to kind of give some basic information to anybody who might be interested in utilizing social media on the business side. And just some easy facts, some ways to get started, and just a couple of things that you should know. So, today's is about Instagram specifically, marketing your business on Instagram, how you can start, how you can strategize, and easy ways that you can fit this into, if you're a business owner, if you're a business manager, working for someone, working on their social media, ways that you can do this, specifically if it's not your full-time job to do social media, because that can get, overwhelming when you're trying to run a business, work for a business, and you're kind of like trying to do that social media in the background. Okay, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to share my screen and go through this presentation. If you have questions if you wouldn't mind putting them in the chat, and then I'll circle back at the end and answer a bunch of questions, whatever you guys have, and you can save your questions till the end and ask outside of the chat as well. But if you could just throw those in the chat, and then at the end, we'll go back and try to get all that stuff answered for you. I appreciate y'all being here, and I'm going to go ahead and share that. Let's see if I can pull this up. Okay. All right. So here is just a basic overview of what we're going to talk about today. So the first question being, why should you be on Instagram as a business? How to get started, the basics of your handle, which is like the username, and then your bio on Instagram. We'll talk about consistency and quality as a way of growing and maintaining your online presence, and then basics of a strategy to get started that can kind of apply to any business or any sort of time constraints that you have as far as doing social media. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first big question is why. Most businesses I've found, if they're utilizing social media, are on Facebook. People are doing YouTube, things like that, maybe some TikTok. And some people kind of don't either understand or don't know the reasons for being on Instagram as a business. But in my experience, in kind of what I know, Instagram is definitely becoming a front runner in social media in general, but also within business marketing, especially if you have a small business, medium sized business, and if you have a story to tell, if you have certain personality, if you have things that go in, like the reason that you started your business, things like that. If you've got something that is relatable, something that you feel is important, that is important, Instagram is the place to kind of market this social media wise. Social media is not a standalone for marketing your business, social media is a supplement, but I do believe it's something that every business should be using. So the breakdown is Instagram is focuses on photos and graphics and short form video. There's not a lot of, Instagram does have a I won't get into it too much, but it does have threads, which is similar to like a Twitter where you would do a lot of text. And then of course you are captioning these photos, but really what's grabbing people's eyes, the actual photos, graphics, or videos. It is a digestible platform. The average social media user nowadays is just consuming so much information, so much content, that Instagram is the short and sweet. Instagram is where they're going for kind of that quick fix, sort of, how can I get as much information as possible? Most of your platforms nowadays do have stories, but Instagram, first of all, was the first to really utilize these stories, and I would say maintains the standard in people utilizing stories. You're getting a lot of users now on Instagram that will go just in there to click through stories. It's quick, it's fast, you get everything that you need. They're doing a little bit more of the story viewing as well as reels, and less of the main feed scrolling. So stories are almost as important as what you put in your main feed. They only stay up for 24 hours. You do have the option of permanent placement of those in a highlight reel on your profile that people can go back and reference. But stories are great for a business that has repetitive posting. So putting your hours every day, posting a schedule if you're offering a schedule of classes or something like that, posting your upcoming events every day, even more than once. You can add links, you can add all sorts of stuff into your stories. You can show some behind the scenes and organic content, which, when I'm saying organic content in this, it's something that's happening right then. Like if you are in the middle of your day doing your job and something comes up and you're like, I need to showcase this on social media, you can throw it right on those stories. You don't have to worry about curating the post. You don't have to worry about a caption. Just put it up there. Instagram, in that same way, pushes lifestyle content. So when people are going on there as from a marketing standpoint, you're not necessarily looking for 50% off sale graphics, although that stuff does have a place. The story you build around Instagram is why somebody would feel comfortable using your business, what they would do, what they would see when they get there. Personalized, you can make it funny, and also informative. And Instagram is really just a place to tell your story when it comes to marketing. Clients and your potential customers may feel through Instagram like they're part of a community, not just someone coming in to spend money or something like that. They can see the reality of what you're offering and the story behind it. Instagram and Facebook are now connected. They have been for a while, so it's just a little reminder that if you're already using Facebook, Instagram is a no-brainer. It's seamless. You can post on Instagram and it goes directly onto your Facebook as well. You can connect the two. You're not making any extra effort to post on both. And it is mostly, you'll see a lot of businesses and people are posting to both the exact same thing. There's not really, in some cases, there's a need for variety between what you're posting on the two. But in reality, you may just have a whole different demographic on your Instagram than is on your Facebook. So posting the same thing isn't necessarily redundant. It just gets it in front of more eyes. All right, we'll move on to getting started. So, the first two things that you want to consider when you are either starting an Instagram profile for your business or maybe revamping, maybe you've had one, maybe it's dormant, maybe it's not getting the traction that you want it to get, is thinking about your handle, which is like the username or how people find you on Instagram, and then your bio. So, these are the most, this is what people are searching, this is what people are seeing the first time they visit your profile. Your handle, I cannot stress enough, it needs to make sense. Instagram handles are all one word, no spaces, with no capitalization. So if the words, if your business title displayed as is with no spaces spells all kinds of different words within it, it's going to be a hard sell. So coming up with something that's short, something that explains what you do, something that ties in your business name in some way is important, but make it digestible, make it easy to remember. And then if you do want to add that space, like if you want to put your business name, if it's available, you can add those underscores or the point in between to separate the words. I put a little example there. Um, I would try to keep it similar to your other social media handles. Sometimes you can go a little bit off, um, to kind of make it catchy. Or some people add like Maryland, or if you're in Salisbury, SBY, something like that, so that people know where you're located. In the example of the spa, they use the name of the street. So, maybe it's like Green Street Spa or something like that. So people would also know, a general location. Um, you can change the Instagram handle. So if you already have one and you're not sure it's really making the mark, you can change it. I think you could change it a couple times a year, but it is kind of a process. So make sure that you pick exactly what you want, to avoid having to go through that process more than once. Your bio, this is what's shown when someone clicks on your profile to look. I'm going to show you some examples in a moment, but this is really a space to show your viewers, your followers, potential followers, a brief, concise idea of what your business is. There is limited space in the bio, so make the best use of it. You can use emojis and things like that, so sometimes that helps to get your character count down. But you really just want a basic summary of what you offer. You The sections to put your phone number, email, website are separate. So in this bio, with your little amount of characters, you really just want to describe what it is you're doing. It's a snapshot of your business and what you want someone to take away after they see it. So I'll show you some examples. I'm using my own business profile here so you can see. In the first picture, you can see our username and then the bio. So the bio says exactly what we do. It's a condensed version, but it does give you all of the information in one spot. You can add your name, you can add your pronouns. Like I could add my full name up there if I wanted to. And then you have a section for links. So in this spot where you see my bio, I don't want to put my website. I don't want to put my Facebook page or my phone number, anything like that. I'd want to use all those links here. So you can do multiple links. You can link your website. You can link like a ticket link if you're doing an event. You can link your LinkedIn, your YouTube channel, whatever it is that you have in addition to this Instagram. You can throw those links under that link section, and that's a clickable link. It'll take you right to wherever it goes. Next thing is your contact info. So don't bother using up those characters for your contact info in the bio. You can add that stuff into the actual contact options that people can click on and go to. And they can call you, email you, WhatsApp you directly from your Instagram profile. So that is just an example of a bio and the basics of that. And you can change that easily. So you can delete, change all that stuff whenever you want to. So we move on to getting started. So how do you put yourself out there? How do you get started? If you're starting from scratch, or even if you're starting from somewhere in the middle or restarting, rebranding, something like that, you want to check out your follows and unfollows. So if you're already in the midst of this, if you have followers, if you're following people already, just check in with that. If you're starting from scratch, obviously you want to curate your following. So make sure you're going through and following things that are relevant. So on your personal Instagram, if you're using Instagram for personal reasons, you can go ahead and follow whatever, anything that you want. On a page that you're trying to grow or that you're trying to customize for your business, you really want to look for relevant um, people to follow or things to follow. So um, other pages that are in your same niche. You can follow some of your customers, people who you know are going to support you and share your stuff, other businesses or community organizations that you work with, maybe your neighbors. If you're in a shopping center, go ahead and follow all those people that are also in your shopping center. There is a little bit of rhyme or reason with the amount of people that you're following. If you're trying to grow your following, it's a little tricky. But if you already have an established following, you want to be you want to have you want to be following about 10% of the amount of people that follow you. So say you have 300 followers, you want to be following about 30 people. You don't want to be following more people than follow you. That's a good rule to keep as far as your presence. If you're following a bunch of people and you want to go scale it back, my suggestion is to go look for people who are inactive on social media. So if you're following anybody who's inactive on social media, from a business standpoint, this is not going to help grow your following. So you can go ahead and unfollow those. If they're not active, they're not going to notice anyway. Um, let's see. And then we come to posting. So if you're starting from scratch, this is the one time that I would really suggest posting more than once. You'll see later in our strategy that there's a little bit of consistency with not doing that regularly. But if you're starting from scratch, I would say post a couple of things, maybe your logo, maybe a photo of yourself or a picture of your business, something with basic info to launch your page. It's extra bonus if it's something that's shareable that you think people will share for you, because that pushes your content out into the realm of Instagram where people will see it organically. And the last thing you definitely want to do when starting is interacting with those other accounts. So if you're finding these accounts that you're following, different people in your circle and things like that, make sure that you're going to their page, looking at their stuff, liking and sharing their content that's relevant to you. It really helps get your post out there as well. And we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. So moving on to consistency and quality. Consistency and quality, specifically on Instagram, are really paramount. You're looking for aesthetically pleasing content, on trend, well thought out, and relatable. People go to Instagram to find that funny reel or that photo that they really, want to share. Maybe like something meme. Like, I don't know if anyone was paying attention. The Super Bowl, there was just a ton of different memes that came out with the Super Bowl halftime show, where people were taking, an image from that and putting something that was relevant to themselves or their business on there. And that stuff spreads like wildfire. It's a great way to get your page out in front of people and away from your normal content. So we're talking about quality, we're talking about being on trend, and then the big one is consistency. So the Instagram formula or the algorithm, they really love to see consistency. You'll even get notifications on your Instagram that say things like, hey, you consistently posted for 30 weeks or 20 weeks or 2 weeks or whatever it is. And it'll say, this is, you're reaching more people. We're putting your stuff out to more people. Like, they will actually reward you in your notifications for being consistent. This also rings true with your clients and people that are following you or viewing your things. The more they see out of you, the more consistent it is, the more likely they are to follow, the more likely they are to seek out your content. And then that in turn contributes to your growth on the platform, and a higher chance of taking those people that are just viewing, turning them into actual followers so that they get your content fed to them, and then turning those followers into people who walk through your doors or purchase your product or go to your website, or any of those things. We'll dive a little further into that. Consistency. This can be one of the hardest things for business owners. This can be hard for people who are, kind of hustling or doing their own thing with their business or their personal accounts, and they just don't have time. Consistency is really important though. So I say, even if you can only post once a week, make sure you're posting once a week, every week. An easy way to do this on Instagram is with your stories. Stories are easy. You can throw them up. You can have a bunch of them pre-made. You can share one every day. For example, say it's your hours. You can make, 10 good graphics that show your hours, especially if your hours are consistent and stay the same. And you can just throw one of those up every day. That keeps you consistent, keeps people in the know. People will probably be like, yeah, well, we know, we know what time you're open, but them seeing that every day keeps you in top of mind, keeps you in their rotation of things that they're viewing, and can be really helpful. I do recommend to my clients and to others that posting on your actual feed, so posting a video, posting a photo, every 3 to 4 days is a great guideline. Some people want more, some people need more, depending on the nature of your business, and some people can get by with less. But every 3 to 4 days or twice a week is a general rule as far as consistency goes. The next thing is finding your audience's active time frames, and Instagram has made this easier than ever. You will get notifications if you pay attention on your Instagram that are called weekly recap, or maybe it's monthly, but I believe it's weekly or monthly recap, where they'll take you through your most popular posts, what time of day people are looking at your posts, what day of the week is more popular for your posts, and it's specific to your account. So that will show you, if they show you what was good that week, it's safe to say that that's probably going to be similar this coming week. So think about that, maybe scheduling posts out for those days that they tell you. And you can also access this information through your professional dashboard at any time, and it'll show you the same statistics. But the bottom line on this is that if you're using a variety of content, photos, graphics, and short form videos on a consistent timeline, it'll put you in front of people that are following you. It'll also put you in front of people that are not following you that can then maybe in turn either just view and see, or they could become followers. The next portion of this is quality. So we talked about Instagram is about aesthetics, well done photography, simple and organized infographics, and short eye-catching videos. Photography. Access to professional photography is great, but not most people don't have it. Even if you're just using your own cell phone, and the best piece of free advice I can give you is to clean the lens on your camera before you take a photo or video. Our phones go everywhere with us, and they get fingerprints, and they get dirt, and they get fogged up. Clean the lens on your camera. It makes a difference. And then the other great piece of free advice I can give you is having a stockpile of general images for posting. You can reuse them. You can, and it's simple. Again, a headshot of you, a picture of your business, a picture of something you offer, something relevant to your business, maybe like a picture of the general area or like your parking lot or something like that. Keeping those things in a stockpile and then having something to post is a time saver. Helps you keep that consistency. As far as graphics go, there are programs like Canva. Canva is a big one that people use, free and paid options there. They can help you present organized and clear infographics. It can help you with your branding. You can stay consistent in the look and feel of your graphics. You will notice, and you may also utilize this, some people do use ChatGPT or AI to make some graphics or posters. Um, my opinion on that is that anything is better than nothing, but AI can really take away from the authenticity of your promotions and your marketing. It can start to look like everybody else's. So in my humble opinion, using something where you can make your own color schemes and brands and make it look authentic and realistic is a little bit better of an option if you have access to it. Reels. Don't be afraid to scroll through Reels on Instagram to stay up to date with what's trending. You have something called an Explore page, and that is the little magnifying glass on your screen. It can show you content that's similar to yours. It can help you discover trending audio and ideas. And the Explore page is a really good way to know if you're on point with your with what you're following and how you're following it. When you pick up that Explore page, you should be seeing things similar to what you're doing. You should be seeing the same thing. That means you're in the right place in the platform. Professional video, again, is great. Most people don't have access to it, so cell phone videos are just as well. Tripods can help stabilize, or you can get something that you can just hold in your hand to help stabilize the camera. The new iPhones actually have great stabilization built in. And then one more reminder to clean your lenses before recording. Let's see. So we'll move on to some strategy. Strategy really on Instagram is about engagement and just planning. So strategy promotes consistency and helps with helping you with those time constraints as well if you're planning. So planning out your content can help reduce stress, schedule what time and what type of content you'll be posting. You can do up to a few weeks or a month in advance, depending on what the nature of your business is. Sometimes you need to plan further ahead or you need to be more in the moment. So I would say if you can commit 1 to 2 hours a week to plan and schedule just 2 posts, you're headed in the right direction as far as consistency goes. Instagram does have scheduling options, so you can schedule your posts ahead of time. There is a little bit of a drawback to that, which I'll get to in a second, but it is something that can help you stay on point if you do not have time. Don't forget to include a little time for engagement. As little as 15 minutes a day can make a difference. I always set a timer so that I don't get stuck in Instagram for hours. So here's a little bit more into that. So using a calendar, you can use a planner, you can use an electronic calendar, Google Calendar. This can allow you to see what's coming up in the world and more specifically in your business. A lot of places take advantage of like national, let's say pizza day, if you're a pizza place, to make sure that you're making a post there. Takes the guesswork out of what and when to post and helps you look at your strategy through a bigger lens than taking it day by day. We talked about scheduling. Scheduling tools allow you to create the post in your free time, but they'll post, for you, so you don't have to actually physically go on and post. Potential drawbacks are that you can't post on Facebook at this time. If you wanted to post on both, you would have to schedule on both, which is possible. It just doesn't automatically share at this time. And then also not being able to conveniently engage after posting. So doing that engagement before and after you post can be really helpful. It's not a deal breaker if not, but it is a good time to get that engagement done, which is on to the next point. Dedicating no less than 15 minutes a day to log into your Instagram and engage with others. Start by replying to any comments that are on your post, sharing stories you've been tagged in. You don't have to share them all, share what's relevant, and answering any direct messages. Take some time to scroll, visit your Explore page, and tap through stories. You can also leave comments on relevant posts. Engagement not only signals to Instagram that you're a real active user, but it's an opportunity to connect with your with people that you collaborate with. It's an opportunity to do research on competitors, find new trends, and see what is successful. Right. On an extra note, don't forget your stories. This is where you want to be posting daily. If you can, 1 to 3 stories a day. Doesn't need to be complex, can be repeated every few days or weeks as needed. I've mentioned a couple times your hours, specials, upcoming events. They should be a mix of original content and resharing posts relevant to your business. Instagram has a lot of features in the stories, which makes it easy to be creative. You can put a clickable link, you can add a GIF, you can add your location, you can tag other accounts and they can reshare your story. Taking the time to explore those options is worth it. Oh, something happened. Oop, yep. Just take your time to check that stuff out and just try it and see what works. Again, they go away after 24 hours, so plenty of um, time to reset and do something different. That's about all I have for you on Instagram today. This is my handle. So, my Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Feel free to follow us on any. I will put my email in the chat as well if anybody wants to reach out and chat with me. I'm happy to expand on things or give you, what I can as far as knowledge and to help make you successful. So let me unshare my screen. Oops. What are we doing? How did I get there? How do I get back here? Stop share. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put my email in the chat. And at this point, if you have any questions, you can come on in and ask, or you can throw it in the chat. There's my email for you guys. Feel free to reach out again. I'm happy to help. Hi, Jess. Yes, Bilky, share presentation. You will get an email with a link to this presentation, but also they'll put it up on YouTube, I believe, right, Morgan?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, it'll be on
Yeah.
YouTube as well.
You'll get the link to our YouTube channel too, so.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. Anybody else have questions? Anything I didn't touch on that you have questions about?
I have a quick question, a follow-up
Sure.
question. What is the difference between putting an ad on Instagram? Because I've always known Instagram, even though I don't use it, I've always known Instagram to be a social media where people show off their social status and so forth, pictures, and connect with friends and their families.
Hmm.
So I maybe because I'm just starting, to put information together about starting a business. So I've never known that to be an avenue, a platform for showing, advertising business as compared to other platforms like LinkedIn.
Yeah, so you can purchase ads on Instagram. You can sponsor your posts and things like that so people get it out there. But really, Instagram is just an extension of your Facebook or whatever other platforms you're using. And the real story here, marketing wise, is going to be just exposing your potential clients, followers to the realistic part of your business. So storytelling, the same way you use Instagram for social, like your friends and things like that, seeing pictures, videos, you can translate that to your business by showing, taking those trends and things that people are doing for their personal social media and just applying it to your business. So it's more of again, not not your traditional marketing as far as ads, although you can put ads on Instagram and people will see them. It's more of kind of a behind the scenes, organic, like get to know me, get to know my business, why you should do business with me. It's more centered towards the storytelling aspect of that more so than traditional marketing. Does
Hmm.
that answer your question?
Sure,
A
yeah.
little, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody else?
Now's the time.
Do you have a calendar, a planning calendar that you share, or like a template, or just any that works for us?
So I have used multiple. This is gonna sound a little crazy, but the two things that work best for me, I write it down on an actual planner or I use my notes app on my phone. So I have what I call a rolling to-do list, and I put in there my posts for the week and things like that. And then I get great satisfaction checking things off. So I think that works for me. But I have also utilized Google Calendar, which can be really simple, especially if you're using Gmail, because it'll give you reminders and things like that. But also I've used Monday.com, which is a paid platform, but I found it really useful when I was having to share my schedule either with a client or with a coworker, because you can actually put your pictures in there or your videos, and then so for example, when I leave, if I'm not around and I need someone to help manage my accounts for me, I put my pictures and videos in there with the caption, and they can go in and pull, rather than me having to send them all the videos, you can go in and pull. So it can be a really great as well if you just want a place to organize everything, because with Google and things like that, you can't necessarily put those pictures, like have a one-stop shop, like you're kind of searching through your phone and stuff like that for those pictures. So Monday is one that I've used with success. It does have a price tag on it though, so I try to utilize those free options more so.
Thank you. And you saying the
Yeah,
word Monday reminded me of another question.
sure.
Does it matter what days? Like, would it be helpful to consistently try to post, Wednesdays and Fridays, or it doesn't matter?
So that can be an easy way to like remember to do it, or if that works in your schedule, like I think that works. But my suggestion, if you have the time to do it, would be try posting on different days and different times. And then once you do that, Instagram will give you that feedback of like, hey, these are your most popular posts. Unfortunately, to do that and get that accurate feedback, you would have to kind of experiment, trial and error. I will say that the majority of my client accounts are people are in the afternoon and evening. So that does narrow it down a little bit. I think you're seeing less of the morning scroll and more of people like they use social media to unwind in a way, so they're doing it lunch break, after work, mid-afternoon, even into late night. I have a ton of clients getting 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. engagement, which kind of makes sense. I mean, not for everybody, but I know that as a person that works during the day and I have a family, once everyone goes to bed is when I get on Instagram. So, I mean, personally, not for business, but so yeah, those are kind of good guidelines, but it's more of a trial and error, and then Instagram will give you that feedback
Thank
to
you.
let you know. Yeah, absolutely.
Anybody else have any questions?
Awesome. Well, don't hesitate to reach out if anything comes up. Give me a follow on Instagram and I'll follow you back.
Yeah.
And I'll do some engagement for you. We'll do it. We'll collaborate there. And then I have a couple more lined up with MCE. I think I've got a Facebook one coming up and some other things. And then I'll let Marvin tell you more about what else they have coming up too.
Yeah, we have
Oh, and come see me at the Women's Business Conference on March 6th.
yeah, that's
I'll be a vendor there.
not this Friday, but next Friday. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, we have what we do have a couple other webinars coming up on, let's see. Tonight we actually have one on first steps of starting your own business. That's at 6 p.m. And we don't have anything next week except the conference. That we sort of left that open because it takes a lot to get ready for the conference. But the week after that, on March 11th, we have how to write a business plan and do your cash flow projections. And we have let's see, Let's Talk Funding on the 18th of March.
I have a question about the conference.
Sure.
So people mentioned they're going to be vendors, so of course there'll be vendors. Are there like speakers or what else is going on in the day?
Yeah, they do. We do have speakers. I think there's like 3 or 4 different speakers on different things. I think we even have a panel where there'll be back and forth questions and things. And then it's just a great day for you get to see a lot of the vendors. You get to talk with them. You get to talk with other people in business. It's a lot of fun. It's from not I think 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. Um, Everybody seems to have a lot of fun too. So if you're interested, when I send out the link to the recording of this, I usually put on there a link to our upcoming events, so you'll see all the other events. And there's also a place there you can, if you want to find out more about the conference, it's on there too. So, and this probably get this either later this afternoon or first thing in the morning. So you'll have that information pretty soon. Anybody else have any questions? If not, I want to thank Betsy for doing this. It was I just did get an Instagram account probably 2 months ago,
Awesome.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of I'm using it just for fun. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, but it is fun. But
Yeah.
but no, it was very interesting, and I'm sure everybody got a lot out of it. And like I say, join us for some of our other events coming up. And with that, we'll see you next time. Thanks again, Betsy.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one.